Oh fuck. All right. Hello, everyone.
Why do you do this every fucking time?
Because it's funny.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bangers, Bops, and Banter. This is episode 21 of our podcast, I guess. Wow.
Whoa, you know how to count. That's
Sorry.
more than I do.
Whoa. Kobe, how high can you count?
I haven't even started.
Your profile picture is Borat, so I'm just staring at Borat.
Yeah, you went face cam, right?
Yeah.
Out of context,
Anyways.
that sounds so bad.
Alright, anyways, I'm one of your hosts, Joe. I'm here with Brendan.
Yeah.
And we have a guest. Whoa.
My name's Kobe, and I'm not going to give out my social security number. Sorry.
Alright, kick him.
Well,
Get him out.
No, sorry, Kobe couldn't make it.
He didn't pay the proper entrance fee.
Oh man. Alright, we got a cool podcast episode coming up.
That's
I
how
don't know. I don't like to call.
You said it was.
Yeah. Yeah. We got music news. We got movie news. I included a bit more than usual, just because there's some short stories that I think we can include, and that were cool. And then we're gonna be talking about the Sufjan Stevens record, Illinois, whichever way you want to say it.
Come on, feel the Illinois.
It's just called Illinois, though.
No, it's Illinois, bro. That's the joke.
Yeah, it's Illinois, but also it's Illinois on Spotify, so it's like, what?
His other one is just called Michigan, so I think...
It's stylized. There's actually a thing. He made a joke. He's like, I'm going to make 50 albums for the 50 states. And then someone was like, so you're going to do that? And he went, no, why would I do that? It's actually really funny.
Yeah.
Yo, come on. I'd love to hear the one for, like, Massachusetts,
It's
where
just
it's just
like
about
car
drunk
horns.
people.
Oh, it'd be
Car
really
horns
bad.
and drunk people.
And Dunkin'
racial
Donuts.
slurs.
Yeah.
Racial slurs.
After the album discussion, we're going to be talking about the movie The Rocky Horror Picture Show, 1975, a musical. Yeah.
Bit of a like cult classic, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It's Halloween-y. Yeah.
Yeah. You said
Yeah.
weenie.
Alright, I'm canceled.
Oh my god, guys. It's a Tuesday. This is weird for us.
What are you talking? No, it's not.
It's not a Tuesday. We have
Buddy,
this episode needs to exist outside of the realm of time. This is not happening.
We just recorded the album swap for Humans. Like, we're not in our right.
You guys actually did Humans?
Yeah.
Yes.
What
That
are you,
was
a
the punishment.
sociopath? Why?
That was the punishment.
I lost.
What?
Brendan lost album swap, so he had to review and also buy Humans on vinyl.
You had to.
It's coming on Monday.
I helped review, but
I came home and I looked on my Discord and it said Joe's listening to Humans, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, did he fucking... I literally thought he lost a bet. What's happening?
I mean, Brendan sort of lost
I
a bet,
lost
I
the
guess.
bet. I am the loser here.
Ugh.
Oh, man. Alright.
Anyways.
Well, let's get into the music news. Morgan Wallen, however the fuck he pronounced his name. He got uninvited from performing at SNL after a video surfaced of him at a maskless party.
Oh my god.
Good, yay. Good job. Yeah.
Smart stuff here.
COVID. Woo. Wear your masks,
Yeah.
kids.
Yes, actually, yeah, wear your mask. If you're not wearing your mask, I'm gonna throw a punch.
Alright. Kobe is going to beat the shit out of me and Brendan right now then.
Yeah, I'm looking at you guys specifically.
Man, you have to beat the shit out of Borat too. He's not wearing a mask.
It's a lot funnier because it's coming out of Borat's mouth. That's how you know it's fucking serious.
Yeah. Next in music and news, interesting little thing that happened. I don't know. Don't question me.
Got it.
Aphex Twin billboards and posters have appeared like in a lot of major cities.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I mean, apparently something is coming on the 20th of October. So yeah, pretty cool.
Should be interesting.
Yeah. Next in music news, this is something that I think everyone here is going to be super excited for. Do you remember that Weezer covers album that was totally good? It was totally good.
What a weird way to start a sentence. Hey, you guys remember that fucking shit, the Teal album? Wasn't it the Teal album?
It's the Teal album.
Yeah.
I didn't even listen to all the... Can I be honest with you? I'm sorry for interrupting this, but real quick. I was like, oh, I want to start listening to Weezer. I want to give it a try, because, I hated myself. So I was like, I'm going to give it a try. Let me listen to the Teal album, their newest. First song, I was like, this is a different song. Interesting. I got to the second song, and I was like, this is a different song. And then I looked at the list, and I was like, am I stupid? Are these all covers?
Yeah, it's a covers album. Like,
well, I know that now. I wasn't into Weezer. I didn't know.
Why do you start with the most recent Weezer album? I feel like it's every single Weezer fan is just like, please don't start with anything that has been released in the last 2 decades.
Well, yeah, but every single Weezer fan, I don't know. I don't care. Every Weezer fan hates Weezer though, so who cares?
That's
true. Weezer kind of sucks.
They really do.
Their first 2 albums are really good though.
Yes, go listen to the Blue album and Pinkerton.
Yeah, I'm
Pinkerton's
sure they're really
better than Blue.
You think they're really going to appreciate that plug you guys just did?
Yeah, they are.
Weezer, yeah.
Weezer, where's our money?
No.
Give it to us.
It's the lead...
Money.
Cuomo. I wanted to call him Giles Corey.
I need
That's
it.
the lead singer of that band. Anyways, the news on Weezer. Anyways,
and this isn't news on Weezer. I just brought it up because Green Day's Billy Joe Armstrong has announced a new covers album called No Fun Mondays, and I'm sure everyone is super excited for that. After Father of All, Father of All, really, Green Day's back in full force. None of those Swedish producers,
Green Day, but this time it's personal. We're not fucking around anymore, guys. We're not fucking around. You thought you liked Dookie? Get ready for 50-year-old Billy Joe Armstrong singing the Macarena or some shit.
We're not actually on the covers album. I would be so hyped.
I'd buy.
There better be the Macarena. If there's the Macarena,
and only play that one.
Oh man. Next in music news, we're gonna do 2 quick ones. Ghost has announced they have a new album coming this winter, which is pretty exciting.
That is exciting.
And also, FKA Twigs has an album that she apparently made during quarantine. So yeah, new music.
Yeah.
From some artists. Yay.
From good bands.
Good bands and artists, yes.
I was really mean to Weezer, but they know
it. Next in music news, Lana Del Rey. Oh boy.
It's always good when it starts with Lana Del Rey.
The gift that keeps on giving, folks.
She did a surprise what was it? It was a surprise signing event or whatever for her new book. Her new poetry book. And she showed up wearing a mesh face mask.
I saw this. I saw the picture. I
don't think I have to say why this is stupid.
No,
why
say
she
Okay,
so you see,
Please.
If you wear a mesh face mask.
Technical.
Because
yeah,
but
counterpoint, Joe.
Yeah.
If she wears the mesh face mask, we're gonna be able to see beautiful Lana Del Rey's beautiful mouth.
Okay. There are clear face masks that they make.
Yeah, but shut up. Yeah, no, that was so stupid. I saw a picture of it and I was like, what are you doing? What?
Yeah, I don't know. Lana Del Rey has been in the news somewhat recently for also saying some stupid things.
And she's kind of falling off the deep end here.
Yeah. Apparently, her sister defended Lana by saying she had tested negative for the virus and stood more than 6 feet away, which would be fine if, there weren't pictures of her with fans, like, right next to fans.
Yeah.
So, clearly that's not true.
Yeah. That's also not entirely the point. Like, if you're someone on such a big platform, why would you encourage anything less than, like, what's supposed to be fucking happening? Because you could actually kill people if you don't.
Yeah.
I don't get that. Crazy how my heroes fucking fall from grace like this. First Billy Joe, then Weezer, now Lana. I should mention that I'm white. Could you tell?
I think you should get some new heroes.
I have to now.
Weezer should never be anybody's hero. Let's just start with that.
I mean, look, have you heard
like the Black album?
Oh.
Or the White album? Or the Teal?
The White album. White album's really good.
Not bad, actually.
The White album has "L.A. Girls." That's the only song I've heard off of it.
Really White album's very good. I'd recommend. These are just like they're so fucking inconsistent. It's insane. Anyway,
that they wear their masks.
Finally, in music and news, we got some Depresso.
Yes.
Great.
Eddie Van Halen has passed away.
Oh, yeah.
At 65. This happened like about a week ago at this point. Literally a week ago at this point. But he passed away following a battle with throat cancer. Really unfortunate. It's Depresso.
It's too bad.
Too bad. Anyway, movie news. Are you ready for some fun, happy movie news after that fun concluding story?
Yeah.
Sure.
Alright. Netflix has ended its free trial offer in the US. You can no longer get Netflix. You no longer get the 30-day free trial of Netflix as a new subscriber.
Who doesn't have... And I don't mean this in an elitist way. Who doesn't have Netflix?
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's like, this is like... Brendan
I had it, and then I canceled it because I wasn't using it in school.
That's fair. This is an audio podcast, Brendan. That joke is not going to read.
Well, that's kind of the point. I don't want people to know that I'm a loser who doesn't have Netflix.
To close caption here, folks. He raised his hand slowly and coyly.
Yeah, I feel like everyone has access to Netflix.
Yeah.
At this point, so it makes sense that they would stop offering the free trial. Yeah. I don't know. This isn't.
I can't imagine
really
the free
bad.
trial was really hurting their profits either, though.
That's true. Next in the movie news, Pixar's Soul is not coming to theaters, and it's going to be exclusively released on Disney Plus, but it's not going to be like a Mulan, where you have to pay $30 for one movie. It is just going straight to Disney Plus. As long as you have it, you can watch it. Disney apparently is also moving towards like digitally released content. So yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you in the middle there, but I'm at a quandary with that piece of news because on one hand I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I actually I'm excited to see movies just dropped right digital because I already have Disney Plus. But the other half of me is like, I love going to the movie. I don't think I'm in the vast majority with that, but I really do like going to the movie theater. It's an experience for me. It always has been. So I don't know. I'm at like a weird impasse with this sort of thing.
Mm. I mean, I feel like this is. I would be surprised if Disney was like, no, we're not going to release movies in theaters anymore or anything like that.
Well, yeah.
This is probably just mainly because of the Rona. But yeah. Next in movie news, Mr. Bingle Dink Scoot. He's coming to the next Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed that I knew. I'm so pissed that I knew what you fucking meant.
Yeah, of course you did.
So annoyed.
Yeah, Doctor Strange will be in Spider-Man 3, the Marvel's new, the MCU Spider-Man 3. And also apparently Jamie Foxx is going to be reprising his role as Electro. But not. Hopefully, he's actually in a good movie this time, and not the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
So
interesting.
I guess I'm intrigued.
Did I pasted this twice for some reason?
I don't get.
It seems like
function.
Oh, what?
I don't get the function. Like I thought. I thought they were setting up. I thought they were gonna do Green Goblin next. Are they doing Electro?
I don't actually know.
Are they just?
They're just gonna remake. They're just gonna remake the Amazing Spider-Man 2 exactly.
Are they trying? I hope so.
That would be
shot
so
for
funny,
shot.
though.
Be extremely funny. Are they trying to do like Are they trying to keep away from doing like the mainstream villains first? Is that why? Like, because
I don't know.
They did Vulture, who I don't think Vulture is anyone's favorite. They did. Oh my God, Mysterio. Yeah. And if you went into Mysterio thinking that Jake Gyllenhaal was going to be a good guy,
I don't know.
Interesting.
I feel like
rock
most people know Mysterio is a bad guy, considering.
That's what I was going to say, but like I thought people, because it was that whole spoiler alert for a 3-year-old movie or 2-year-old movie. Well, because they went in with that idea that they were like, yeah, Mysterio he's a good guy, and it's like, bro, are you sure?
Everybody's seen Spider-Man and Friends. You got Mysterio being one of like weekly bad guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious what they do.
Yeah. Next in movie news, Denis Villeneuve's Dune got delayed until like October, in 2021.
Oh wow.
Which is that's a while. And it's also kind of depressing, but it makes sense that they wouldn't want to waste a movie that is almost certainly going to be a big box office.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Success during the coronavirus.
Yeah.
It's kind of depressing though, because I really wanted to see Dune.
I just started reading the book. Actually, it's very intriguing. So
they also don't want to get the fucking sandworms sick.
Yeah, you gotta make sure they don't get the Rona.
It's a nightly talk show joke. That's a fucking Jimmy Kimmel joke.
Kobe.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead, King. Take your time, King.
Oh, okay.
Don't actually take your time. We have a podcast.
Yeah, no. We gotta like.
The fuck. Damn. Kobe is gonna. I'm in 10 years from now. I'm gonna see you on late night TV, and you're gonna be laughing absurdly at a joke that is not funny at all.
That sounds like me. It sounds like me.
All right. Finally, in movie news, Borat 2.
Oh no.
This is the trailer for Borat 2 is coming out. It's coming out on like October 23rd on Amazon Prime. I'm excited as fuck.
For Borat 2.
Borat 2. Yes, it's okay. Borat 2. Oh my god. Look at him, he's so happy.
Yeah. You can't see, but if there could be a dichotomy or like a Venn diagram of where Borat's face ends and mine begins, you'd see that it's telling a different tale over here. It's not.
What the fuck does that mean?
It means that my profile picture is happy, but I have a complete disinterest in this film.
Damn.
I don't know. We've talked about this.
It's gonna be something for sure.
I appreciate the novelty of it, but I can't say that I will be going to see it.
I mean, you don't have to go to anywhere to see it. It's coming to Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Also,
I
somebody's gonna
don't know
force
what
you to
you
watch
want me
it.
to.
Just like somebody
Yeah,
forced you
someone.
to watch the first Borat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and yeah, now I'm this.
You
You're
are
welcome.
Borat.
I am Borat now. Grown up the mustache and everything.
nice.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, and this is totally nothing about nothing. The little profile picture of Borat in the tiny little pop-up on my Discord window looks like my dad from high school. I don't know what to do with that information. I just know it's true. It's really terrifying. It's really just like scary.
Damn.
I'll drop a photo later. You'll see. So serious.
Can't wait to see your dad from high school.
It's a very good photo.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
All right. Do we wanna? Yeah. We want to talk. Do we want to talk about this Sufjan Stevens album, Illinois?
Sure. Kobe,
Full
you're the one
album.
who picked this
Yeah.
album. You want to explain a little bit why, how, who, what?
Yeah. Sure. So, Sufjan Stevens, aka the Poopy Duty Man, as you might know him. That's how Brenda described him to me.
Uh-oh.
Brenda made a joke about it. He was like,
Stinky.
I was like, oh, Sufjan Stevens, I like him. He went, oh, the Poopy Duty Man? And I was like, I don't know, I guess.
Because on the new album, he is a liar where he shits his pants and wets the bed.
That's not true, is it?
No, that is true. That's why I was posting
You're-
all the memes about Sufjan Stevens shitting his pants and wetting the bed.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. It's really not fair because we demand this level of honesty from our artists, and then they're honest with us, and they get fucking teased.
Well, yeah. With a line like that, you're gonna get fucking teased. Like, it's blown over by now, but it's funny.
That is funny. All right, so Sufjan Stevens invites you to come on, feel the Illinois. Illinois or stylized Illinois, based on what you want. It's a 2005 concept album released by singer, songwriter, instrumentalist. Seems like a delightful guy with one of the best names in the business, Sufjan Stevens. Yeah, I came to this album because I listened to Carrie and Lavelle, and it's the only real introduction to. What, did I say it wrong?
Carrie and Lavelle. It's Carrie and Lowell.
It's a V, isn't it?
No.
It's
it
a
not?
W.
Well, anyways, Carrie and Lavelle. Anyways, you can cut this.
I'm
No.
keeping this shit.
Hey guys, it's me, Kobe. I picked an album from an artist that I don't seem to fully understand. So
No, it's totally understand. Carrying Lowell.
I picked this album because Sufjan Stevens authored an album that I listened to this past spring that I will not say the name of with fear of retribution. That I really liked.
Coward.
And I thought it would, you can call me whatever you want. I'm not saying it again. Yeah, it was really good. I thought it was really interesting. I thought he has this really specific voice to him that I wanted to kind of get into more. So I tried to listen to Illinois over the summer, actually, and it just didn't hit then. And so with fall coming around, for some reason, Sufjan Stevens, he feels like a very cool weather fall artist to me, I guess. And now that we're in October, I've been meaning to revisit this album anyways, and I was really intrigued by it being an entire concept album about the state of Illinois. And I was like, that seems fun. Let's do that one. Yeah. So, and now we're here reviewing. Come on, we here on this episode of the Bop Stop are inviting you to come on and feel the Illinois. You know,
Yeah.
it's okay. Don't worry. They won't listen to any of that.
Pretty much.
All right, folks. Yeah, by the way, it's totally true. He released an album. I think it was before this. I don't remember though. He released an album called Michigan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is his home state actually. But he released an album called Michigan, and I was on Wikipedia for "Come On Feel the Illinois," and I was just curious about it because I was just seeing if I could get any information. Why did he choose to write an album about Illinois? I didn't really get any huge information on it outside of the fact that he likes the state. But someone asked him in an interview, because he said, he's like, yeah, I have Michigan and I have Illinois. I'm going to do all 50 states are going to get an album. And I mentioned this earlier and I touched on it, but it is really funny. And someone brought it up. They're like, oh, so you're going to do the 50 states albums? And he went, no. Why would I do that? Or something to that effect, which is so funny to me. He's like, that's a dumb idea. Anyways, yeah. So, yeah, this is Come On, Feel the Illinois.
Cool. Yeah.
Wow.
Have any of us ever been to Illinois?
I have.
You
Damn,
wanna talk
that
about it?
sucks,
Is it anything
dude.
like this album?
If you're asking me if I heard soothing guitars and pianos while I walked the streets of Chicago in March, there weren't. But
Ooh. Sufjan,
if you're
that's
asking me
false
whether or not I
advertising.
liked it, it is false advertising. I didn't see John Wayne Gacy. I didn't. To my knowledge,
Man,
Unfortunate.
it's pretty hard to see John Wayne Gacy, isn't it?
it'd be hard. Yeah, I didn't. You know. I'm looking through the song titles and seeing if I can make another joke. I didn't see a Prairie Fire. That's later in the album. Sorry. The point is, it's really cool. I love Chicago. I really want to go back. It's really, really, really fucking cool.
Why'd you go in the first place?
Oh, why does anyone go anywhere? I just wanted to go to Chicago, bro.
Alright,
I wanted to
fair.
see that fucking bean. I wanted to see the bean.
The Beam? What?
The bean. The Infinity Gate. The Millennium's Gate or whatever. The bean. The Cloud Gate.
I don't
What
even
the
know what
fuck
you're
are
talking
you
Bro,
about.
why does no one know about the bean? You're not even the first
Oh,
people.
the Bean! Not
The
Beam. Bean.
Bean.
Yes, I
Yeah.
get it.
I
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bean.
The thing that you put in your
You've
burrito.
definitely seen the Bean.
Bro, you've seen the bean. He's Googling the bean, ladies and
The
gentlemen.
Bean.
He's a fake Chicago fan. This is not what the album's about.
I've
No, what are you
never
talking about?
seen
First-
this thing before in my life.
But by the way,
Seriously?
it's a
No.
fucking gross monument.
It's just
So
like
gross.
a B-roll in so many YouTube videos.
Dude, you go up to it and it's covered in fingerprints, and the fingerprints are probably from 1992. It's gross.
Damn.
It's like so ew.
It is a
It's cool,
bean,
but
though.
gross.
Look at
It was
it.
constructed in between 2004 and 2006, so
Bro, I don't care.
1992 seems a little outside that time frame.
Can we scrap this whole episode and try again? Because I fucked up every time I've tried to speak so far. Can we scrap the whole thing and just take it from the top?
No.
Okay, great.
You must live with your failures, Kobe.
And they're innumerable at this point, folks. Damn it! We have to scrap this episode, which sucks because I made the Billy Joe Armstrong singing the Macarena joke in this one, and I'm fanning out
That's
one
so
too.
good, though. That's like, it's not a failure. What are you talking about?
That's the only good part of this podcast on my end so far. I don't know what you folks are thinking.
Damn.
Yeah. So, who wants to begin? Just on some opening stuff.
Well, I'd like to start out by saying I like this album. I think it is
What
a
the
good
fuck?
album.
Holy shit!
Brandon,
fuck.
are you okay? You must not be right in the head.
You like music?
You like this critically acclaimed album? What?
It's
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of crazy, I know, but
Indie Dark.
I
Damn.
started
Bitches be
recently.
tripping.
Ooh. I started recently going through like all of Sufjan's discography in chronological order, and I got to Michigan, which is his first state inspired album. I was like, wow, Michigan's like really good.
Yeah.
And I got to Illinois. I was like, wow, Illinois is like really good. And I got to Cary and Lowell, and I was like, wow,
Don't you dare!
I don't know what you're talking
Carrie Lavelle.
Bro, I'm just on a different wave than you folks, okay? It's actually Veezer. You guys just ain't ready for that conversation yet.
It's like the bitch, you know? It's like,
It's
yeah.
just like the bitch.
about. So are you
This is
calling
much
that
real,
track John Vane Gacy Jr.?
Yeah.
No, because John Vane sounds like a reference to a penis. We're not doing that. He called his dick John Vane. I want that on record. John Wayne Gacy called his dick John Vane. You can't prove me wrong. He's dead. You
Hey,
can't prove me
girl.
wrong.
You want some of
Can't prove me
John
wrong.
Vane
Don't
Gacy
fact check
Jr.?
that. Don't fact check it. Don't. Let's just keep going. Don't fact check it.
Oh god. Okay, but anyways,
Is this the worst episode of this?
depending upon your metric, this is the worst or the best.
This is
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So far,
Anyways.
it's up there with some of our most like off-topic.
Yeah, all right.
man. Still not the most off topic.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think anything will ever surpass the
Hey, do you
first
guys want to
episode.
watch Gemini Man?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Why not? It's got two Will. It's actually spoilers. It's got 3 Will Smiths. So
It's got fucking 3
There's a
Will
third?
Smiths, bro.
yeah,
There's
there's
a
3 of
third?
them. There's a
Is
third.
the third one played by Jaden? Because that'd be funny.
No,
Oh.
it's played by Will Smith
What's
again.
the point then?
What? Because it's more Will Smiths. What do you mean? What's the point? It's more funny.
King.
That's how it works.
He's so funny.
More
though.
Will
Have
Smith,
you
more
listened
funny.
to Will Smith? Have you even?
There's this little
heard
album
this
called
classic
Getting
album, Big
Jiggy
Willie
with It.
Style?
You know, Getting Jiggy with It is like, oh man, honestly, great track, legitimately.
Yes.
Don't stare at me like that, Borat.
He's judging you. What album are we talking about again?
This
This is the week we're
Big
talking
Willie
about.
style.
This
A
is the week
Big
we're talking
Willie
about
style.
Trapped, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Trapped.
You guys should never.
Headstrong by Trapped is the greatest. Like, it's just the greatest. What else can
Brendan?
I say?
Okay,
Their newest
I'm-
album, Shadowwork, it's maybe a top 5 record of all
you have to
time.
Google that, or
So,
did you just know it?
what?
Did you just know the title of their new album, or did you Google it?
The title of
The new
their
Trapped
newest album, Shadowwork?
Did you?
I just
know
went to their Spotify
It? Oh,
page.
you did. Okay, you looked it up. I was like, no way, he just knows it. I was like,
I'm
I'm
gonna
so
memorize
underprepared.
all the Trapped albums.
I'm so underprepared for this podcast. Joe knows the entire discography of Trap.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, have you not listened to the
I'm
acoustic
talking
collection?
directly, by the way, to Brendan, who's editing this. I'm very sorry that you have to edit out 10 or 15 minutes of nothing.
He's not
Right
editing.
now.
I'm
this.
not
He's
editing
not
that
editing.
out.
Okay. Good
They
stuff.
want to look. They have an acoustic version of Headstrong that they made. Come on.
They have an acoustic version
Yeah. They have the
Headstrong?
acoustic collection.
of Headstrong.
Yeah. Look,
Have
they
you
also have an
seen-
album called Headstrong,
We see.
where they re-record Headstrong.
Yeah. That's fine. Have we seen Trapped and Papa Roach in the same room at the same time? Historically.
I think so.
Have
Probably.
we?
They've definitely
Probably.
been at like some festival together.
It's a cursed image. We're talking about Insane Clown Posse this week, right? I forgot. I honestly
Yeah. So
forgot.
Clowncore.
My
They're
van.
yeah.
Or
Look.
Vane, if you will.
John Vane, Gacy, bringing it back.
John Vane Gacy, bringing it back. All right, let's
Yeah.
talk about Sufjan
Anyway.
Stevens.
So there's this sick album called Van by Clowncore,
Oh my
and it's
God.
really amazing. Go listen to it. Anyway, Suffy Stevie, Illinois. What do people think of Illinois?
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
What, do you think they don't like Suffy Stevie?
No. I'm sorry that this is what the podcast has been so far.
Why?
It's just been, I don't know. I mean, we just,
We've spent
Why?
the last 10 minutes saying absolutely nothing of merit.
nothing of
Yeah.
merit or substance or value, nothing that anyone can take away. I'm not going to remember
Look,
that I said
buddy,
this.
we reviewed Humans, so I'm not in the right mental state. Anyway,
Yeah.
Suffy Stevie album, Illinois.
What do you think?
What are you referring to?
Yeah, really?
I
Ooh.
don't know. I was hoping somebody would pick it up because it just said, "What do you think?" and then stared into my
Okay.
camera.
Just fucking
Wow,
see-
believe it or not, I enjoyed this album by Sufjan Stevens.
Care to
Yeah.
elaborate?
I thought that was it. I thought he
No. Hey, Borat, what are your thoughts on the Sufjan Stevens album?
Now, boys, I don't mean to fucking sink your battleship here, but I liked this album.
Yo, what? How
Dude.
could you?
fucking crazy. Hey, if you came to this episode,
If you came,
all right, okay, we're professionals.
come.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a 20-something college student
No.
talking about
Yeah,
the Pee Pee
there's
Poo
an
Poo Man
inside
album.
joke between me and Brendan that no one is gonna fucking get.
Alright, guys.
This is fast approaching some of our dumbest shit that we've done on the podcast.
Yes. 3 hours. How long has this been? We've been doing
that long.
35 minutes is how long we've been
We've been
recording.
talking for almost an hour, and we haven't spoken about the album more than
How
4
is
sentences.
35 minutes almost an hour?
No, it's been 40. We started at like 10 something.
Brendan just
I
said
have the timestamp up. It's 35:50 right now.
Anyways, so Sufjan Stevens, Illinois. I liked this album. I thought it was really good. It was very different from Carrie and Lowell. It was very different from that album in a pleasant way. It's just I went in and I was like, oh, fuck, this is the same guy who wrote Carrie and Lowell? Okay. It was just interesting.
Yeah.
And I think the audacity and gall of this man to write an album about Illinois and Michigan, I'm very in love with that idea.
Sufjan, like, as a creator, is actually super interesting because he just seems to get ideas and just goes with them. Like, he has an album called Enjoy Your Rabbit, which is a bunch of electronic songs about the Chinese zodiac. And there's no like lyrics on the entire album. It's just electronica, which is it's weird. And like also the state-inspired ones. He has Seven Swans is like very gospel inspired, or not gospel, but like just Christian religion inspired. Carrie and Lowell also coming from a place that his mother died, and that's Carrie and Lowell is the result of that. It's part of how he came to terms with her death, and because of that, the subject matter on that album is much darker than any of his other projects, but still also a good album. But yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Illinois has some darker moments on it, like John Wayne Gacy Jr. or the
John
song.
Wayne Gacy Jr. is a bop, dude.
That's a great song.
It is, but I wouldn't consider it a bop.
It's one of my favorites on the album, actually.
Yeah. Also, the track. Let me get the full title. Kazimir Pulaski Day.
Yeah.
That song, which is about his friend dying of cancer. It's pretty depressing.
Yeah, that's not exactly it wasn't exactly a roaring good time, I'll say that.
I don't know. Song's also a bop.
Okay.
Brendan, you have a weird way of coming. Like, why did I stop my sentence there?
Scrap the whole episode. Scrap the whole thing.
Jesus. I can't. There's nothing to salvage at this point. We're just going.
We're freeballing now, folks.
So anyway, welcome to our review of Gemini Man.
It should be noted that none of us have actually seen Gemini Man. We just are all huge fans of Will Smith.
I saw a clip of the ending where it's him and his clone version. I think it's his clone son. He's at college. It's the most disgusting CGI Will Smith I've ever seen, and I've seen a couple because I watched Men in Black.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yo, can we talk about how Men in Black 1 is like very good, and then Men in Black 2 shits the bed?
Okay, if you want to.
Yeah, Men in Black 2 is
You
fucking.
really want to take time out to do this? We're already pretty
Men
in the rough here.
2 fucking sucks. Fuck Men in Black 2.
Have you seen Men in Black 3?
No.
Men in Black 3 is charming.
Okay. I hope it is. I hope there's not rape jokes about the lead girl character maybe being raped by some space worms.
Don't remember.
That happens.
Great.
That
yeah,
happens.
Doug the pug. What's his name? What's the pug's name?
Derek?
Johnny? Jamal? What is it?
Jamal.
Will Smith.
I don't know. Will Smith, yeah, weirdly.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wait, did you say Derek as one of those names?
Oh, Derek.
Okay.
Anyway, back to our
Derek.
Back to our review of Twilight Breaking Dawn. What did you guys think of this movie? I thought it was like pretty alright.
Edward Norton is a treasure. Say that.
Who? What the? What?
Edward Norton in Twilight.
He's not in Twilight, but
Are you
okay.
sure?
Yes.
Yeah, neither is Sufjan Stevens, and that's what we're supposed to be talking about. So I'm just going off the cuff here now.
All right, but have you seen this cool movie called The Incredible Hulk?
I'm gonna fucking strangle myself. What are you doing?
Why have you not seen The Incredible Hulk? He get angry and then he throw tanks.
Yeah, I understand the concept of the Incredible Hulk, Joe. Thanks, though.
Can we just say that Ang Lee went from like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and then made that Hulk movie, and then made Brokeback Mountain, and it's like, what the fuck is that stretch of films? Like, what the fuck?
Stuff out. You're just working some stuff out.
He had some anger issues.
You ever have some itches you need to scratch? For example, a good film, a film about Edward Norton getting big, and then a film about two homosexual cowboys in the mountains finding themselves?
Well, no, that's not the one with Edward Norton. That's like the 2003. It's the 2003 one where, you'd have to see it. All the transitions are like comic book panels, and it's hilarious.
Actually?
Yes.
That feels like it would get tired very fast.
Yes.
That's one of those things that they did in like the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man flicks. They did that and those are very cartoony movies, but even they weren't like, all right, every time a scene transition happens, we're gonna flip the book. Like even they didn't do that, and they went cartoony in some way. You know?
Yeah, so anyway, what do you guys think of The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Just one of the greatest movies of all time. Andrew Garfield's performance is just immaculate.
I feel very bad for Andrew Garfield. I feel so bad for him.
I love when Andrew Garfield Peter Parker yells at his friend Mark Zuckerberg.
That's a great movie.
And then has to be a pacifist in World War II. I felt bad for him.
I didn't see it, but Social Network is a great film. But
Social Network is a great film.
I feel very bad for Andrew Garfield and the Spider-Man things, because if you see him in interviews afterwards, it seemed like he really cared and wanted him to be like good flicks and stuff, but it just didn't work out. And I think Sony made those movies pretty much just keep the IP because they had like a deal going. I don't remember the crux of the deal, but I know that they were like, we have to make these movies or else Marvel's going to get Spider-Man, so we got to make them. And so it's like kind of hastily written and stuff, but I feel bad because Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker, it depends on how you want your Peter Parker played. I didn't mind it. Him as Spider-Man, he seems to get what Spider-Man, like, and there's a couple moments in there, he gets what Spider-Man, like, should be. Like, he knows what Spider-Man means, and there's something there. There's something to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's also he's the best pure actor to ever play Spider-Man. Like, he's a very good actor.
Yeah.
Not in those movies necessarily, but he's an amazing actor. Brendan's giving me a weird look. I'm serious.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he's a great actor. Are you kidding?
Actor.
He did an incredible job in The Social Network. Oh my god.
Great job.
The performance is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm just not that big of a fan of The Social Network in general, but...
Damn. Brendan be hating.
I don't hate The Social Network. I think it's a good movie. I don't know. I'm just not like crazy about it.
Really?
I think Andrew Garfield is A-okay. I also kind of kept on being like, haha, it's Spider-Man, though.
That joke didn't get tired for you after like the second time he was on screen.
No, dude, because he's like, Spider-Man.
You just kept saying, haha, shoot your webs. Like, what are you talking about?
No, just like, he's like yelling at Mark Zuckerberg, like, haha, Spider-Man.
You realize that's a different character, and he's a separate entity.
And then he gets into a relationship with London Tipton from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
That's funny. I will say, seeing London Tipton go down on Spider-Man in a bathroom, very funny. And also, that scene is one of the best. And I'm not using hyperbole. That scene where Jesse Eisenberg and Andrew Garfield get adjacent head in a bathroom at a fucking restaurant. is up there with the best scenes in cinematic history.
That's like not the scene I think about when I think about the best scene in The Social Network.
Well, you're wrong for not thinking of it, frankly. Bro, they get adjacent head. What are you wrong? What's wrong with you?
I think Jesse Eisenberg doesn't get head.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Does he?
He's
Okay.
getting
Yes,
head.
he. Okay, Joe. This is not a podcast about Sufjan Stevens. It hasn't been for an hour. This is now about The Social Network, where they get
Okay,
adjacent
I'm gonna
head
say
in a
like the
bathroom.
best scene in that movie is like that final confrontation. Where Andrew
Yeah,
Garfield
that's absolutely the best scene. That's absolutely the best scene. But for a novelty point, right? It's extremely funny that they get head in adjacent stalls in a bathroom. That's funny.
It is pretty funny.
It's very
well,
fun.
all right. Well, Borat clearly knows comedy best. So
My wife.
you did it.
He said the line. He said the
He said
line.
Funny, haha, ha ha ha.
Jesus
Yo.
Christ.
So,
Anyway, so what do you guys think of the Penguins of Madagascar?
for the love of God, Joe, please, I'm losing my mind. Can we please get through
Yeah,
Sufjan before we get into anything else?
Yeah, all right.
Okay,
Sorry,
okay.
Very entertaining to me.
I can tell.
Please speak on this album, Kobe, before we move on to
Okay.
some other tangent.
I'm just really quickly going to say, because this is very clearly not going to be an in-depth
Hey,
discussion
do you
of the
remember
album.
the incest joke from Madagascar 2?
Joe, I'm going to rip that mustache off your face. On God. Really quick, before we can talk about Madagascar all you want, kiddo, just let me get through his real quick. He's got a banana in his hand. Where did he get that banana?
Banana? Look at it. Banana.
Okay, real
Go.
quick. There's a point I want to make, and I want to say my favorite songs, and then I'm going to give it a rating, and we can move on. I really love a feature that I don't think gets talked about enough on this album is that the titles are really, really long and really, really weird in some cases, which I really like, especially Black Hawk War. I don't remember the full title, but it's really fun. I know that. Concerning is really cool.
How to demolish an entire civilization and still feel good about yourself in the morning.
Like there's tons of real fun quips like that in the titles. It's really cool. My favorite songs are Come On, Feel the Illinois, John Wayne Gacy Jr., Chicago. I really like They Are Night Zombie. And overall, I thought there are points where it feels a bit long. This does not need to be a 22-song album. Even when you take out the interludes, it's probably in the high teens. That's a lot of song. There's a lot of points on it where it's really like a pretty album. It's a really interesting listen. There are some songs that kind of overstay their welcome. Like, we don't really need there to be, like, a bunch of 7-minute songs. Like, they're all really pretty, but some of them fall into, like, very long territory, and they kind of overstay. This album is at its best when it's really twinkly and interesting in its concepts, and a lot of it is very twinkly and piano and string and violin based, and there's a lot of choir work. It's really interesting. There are songs that come off as twangy and almost in a way, like, they're not country songs, but they have the twang of one, and those ones are the ones that I found myself zoning out with. There was a point where I did my re-listen very late in the evening, and I got, I would say, 2/3 of the way through this album, and I started falling asleep a little bit, not because it's bad, but just because there are some songs on here that feel like they're the same as other songs. There are some songs where it feels like he's recycling stuff. There are some songs where it feels like he's just kind of doing, I couldn't separate some of them. And they all kind of happen in a row, right towards the end. That's not a comment on him, because it's a really pretty idea, it's just I started falling asleep. Overall, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's a really, really pretty listen. Everyone should do it. It's a very interesting concept, and when it's at its best, it's really, really good.
Cool. Thank you for that.
John,
That was very well done. For me, I generally enjoy the sound of this album. I think Sufjan's songwriting is certainly one of his strongest suits. There's a lot to really dive into here. I know we didn't dive into any of it, but I'm sorry.
Go listen to the album. Don't listen to us.
Yeah.
We'll
It
finish
also
this and then go listen to the album.
sounds... Yeah, it sounds very pretty, as Kobe said. Definitely, like, you don't have to dive into the lyrics to get enjoyment from this album. Just the sound alone the Sonics will do that for you. At least they do it for me. I do think this album fails to stick the landing a little bit, particularly after They Are Night Zombies. It's kind of a bit much at that point. I think had the album maybe ended at They Are Night Zombies, or he had compacted things a little bit, could have been a bit better had it been more concise, you know. But overall, there's a lot of really good songs here, a lot of very interesting songs, and I don't know, not like a lot of downsides to the project as a whole. I'd say I'm at it's like an 8.5 to a 9 for me.
Whoa. So,
You got
hey, have
another
you heard
banana,
of this?
banana boy? What are you doing?
No, I wish. Well, I mean, I can go get one if you want.
He started eating a banana while I was talking, and I couldn't fucking pay attention to what I was saying because I just started staring at him eating a banana, and I was like, it's a good album.
I want to say I absolutely adore the opening to this album. Concerning the UFO sighting near Highland, Illinois, it's actually like, I have to say it's kind of disappointing because I think the opening is like one of the prettiest songs ever made, and the rest of the album doesn't quite live up to it. But I still think the rest of the album is really great. I think, especially, it's really interesting to see how Sufjan creates, I guess, the world of Illinois, but also uses that to explore his own life and trauma and problems that he's encountered. And I think it makes for a really great album. You know, you got songs like John Wayne Gacy Jr., you got Casimir Pulaski Day. I love those songs. I also really like the very end song. It's a very pretty outro. Yeah, I think this is a fantastic record. I do think there's some songs that definitely overstay their welcome, but overall, I really love it. I'd give it an 8.5 to a 9.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, okay, so look, the Madagascar movies. Do you guys remember the incest joke from Madagascar 2?
No. Explain it in detail. Let's
Okay.
take a while here. Let's park at this rest stop for a while.
So it's like, basically the penguins are trying to land a plane, because they made a plane. Basically, you know, Rico is flying the plane. What the fuck? He's leaving. He doesn't want to hear me explain this joke. What the fuck?
He took one thing off and then left his room.
Damn, this dude sucks. Fuck Brendan. But there's like, basically they're trying to land the plane and Rico's flying and Skipper's like guiding him. He's like, all right, just slightly kiss the ground, a little peck, like you're kissing your sister. And as soon as he says like you're kissing your sister, the plane slams into the fucking ground. And it's hilarious.
That is actually funny.
It's weird. The only good part of Madagascar 2 is the penguins. The penguins are hilarious.
Why is that weird? I always thought that was kind of the standard. Doesn't everyone think that?
Well, I mean, I guess that's fair. Madagascar 2 is like bad except for the penguins, I should say. The penguins, there's like at one point, the penguins are like negotiating, like they're basically negotiating with a union that the monkeys have created.
Right.
And they're like, Skipper's like, don't you see I have to deal with these commie bastards? It's so funny.
He does not say commie bastard.
He doesn't say bastards, but he definitely says commies at some point. I'm almost certain.
Oh, goodness. What child is gonna get that joke?
No one, but it's hilarious. It's so good.
See how I have to deal with those. Do they make a fucking... Okay, this is a weird question. Do they make a fucking... I can't think. A fucking... monkey on the typewriter joke?
Almost certainly.
I mean,
90% sure that there's a monkey on a typewriter at some point. Look at this fucking Look at this fuck. He didn't even hear the Madagascar joke.
I don't think he wanted.
That's wrong. He should be killed. He should be executed because he didn't want to hear the Madagascar joke.
What is he doing?
He's fiddling with his poncho because he's a pretentious fuck.
Just snorted.
Brendan, you missed the Madagascar joke.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Okay, so I'll re-explain it.
Okay.
Basically,
the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
No, so basically,
Oh my God.
what happens in Madagascar 2 is there's this point where the penguins, they're trying to land a plane, okay? And Skipper, the main penguin, he's like guiding them down. He's like, just to kiss the ground, do a little peck, like you're kissing your sister. And as soon as he says, like you're kissing your sister, the plane slams into the ground.
Yeah, okay.
It's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah. You want to talk about the Rocky Horror Picture Show? Because this is also your pick, Kobe.
This is also my pick. Well, frankly, this pick boils straight up down. This pick boils right down. I'm very tired. This pick boils down to the fact that it's October, and I've been meaning to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show for the better part of half the year. But I was told that if you're going to do it, you don't have to, but it serves you to wait until October, and it is now the month that is the scary month. So I was like, hey, folks, let's sit down. Let's come on and feel the Illinois, and let's also watch Tim Curry do his thing in some lingerie, folks. And so we did. It's a 1975 cult classic movie musical. What could be said about Rocky Horror Picture Show that has not already been said 1,000 times? Yeah, it's a cult classic. It's super weird and interesting, and it's October mainstay for all of its diehard fans. It has gotten itself a cult following, and yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. I thought it would be a cool idea to watch it, and we did.
Not scared, didn't scream.
Okay, well, in
it wasn't
that case,
scary, but it was funny.
It was not scary, but it was funny. Yes.
I'm gonna say some things. I guess I might be the dissenting opinion here.
Damn.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in the LGBTQ community, Brendan is about to unleash on you. You should leave the video now.
No, I think that this movie,
homophobic,
the way it portrays specifically the transsexual community, is quite damaging. I get that it was almost 50 years ago at this point, but like, I don't think it holds up to today's standards. But I'll start out on my whole rant by saying that I watched the entire movie sitting there in silence, and the movie ended, and the one
picture.
word out of my mouth was "oof." Oh man,
That's very funny.
Where to begin? I have a lot of problems with this movie. So just like on the surface, I think having like a kind of lighthearted comedic musical about like Halloween, they're taking all these like classic monster movie tropes like the Frankenstein bit, and sort of spinning them in their own way. And I think that's fine. I wouldn't have really enjoyed it in the first place, maybe if the comedy had been decent. I don't think a lot of the jokes hit though. And a lot of the musical numbers definitely don't hit, in my opinion.
Damn.
The movie starts out on a pretty strong note with like they're at the wedding, and there's the first musical number, the one with what's his name, Janet and Ben. Brad. Yeah, Janet and Brad. Their musical number not bad. Then they go on the road, whatever. There's a couple of fine jokes. Once they get to the castle, everything like just goes downhill. The time warp, not a fan. And then they do the Frankenstein bit, but instead of making like a monster, he makes a hot man, which is the problem with this is that like there's some things that are like problematic if you think about them too much, because he just created a sex doll that is now a person and maybe should be allowed to consent, but Rocky obviously does not have the mental faculties to be able to do that. So,
Right.
is it rape? I don't know. We never actually see them have sex. It's only implied. So,
Brenda's the kind of dude
they
to
pour.
watch Willy Wonka and complain that the fucking little people in it are like a pro-slavery metaphor.
listen.
Well,
All
I
right.
mean, well,
And then Meatloaf shows up and has a pretty
fuck. I
light-
wrote a note when Meatloaf showed up. I was like, oh my god, it's Meatloaf. Immediately followed by, oh fuck, he's dead.
Dude,
Immediately.
the tone shift there. Meatloaf shows up
was
and there's
so
like a
weird.
lighthearted
That was
dance
so
number, and then he
That
just
was
gets
weird.
fucking murdered.
Yeah,
And
that
it's
was
like,
weird. I'll give you
what?
that one.
It's such a. It was such a jarring shift. I thought.
I
I'll give you that,
disagree
though.
entirely.
I
don't think the way that it handles like the murder and everything, like I think is generally still very lighthearted. Like there's nothing in this movie that's really taken very seriously.
that's fair.
But it's
I don't think it.
it's weird because there are things, and then they cannibalize
really
Meatloaf,
funny.
and I was
Yeah,
just
that's
His
really
name's
funny.
Meatloaf. His name's Meatloaf. What do you expect,
I
fool?
get that it's for the pun. Actually, they make another pun when they talk about cannibalizing him, but it's just
That's
like
fine.
it's so weird with like
Out of left field.
yeah. I don't know. I just
I'll
found
give
it
you that.
really weird. I guess.
Yeah,
Also,
it's kind of.
yeah. There's lots of things to me that just like didn't click for this movie.
Yeah.
Also, the whole thing. So, Tim Curry is portraying a transvestite, but they're from the planet transsexual, right? Which transvestites and transsexuals are different things. So that, and also it never really, the movie doesn't actually explore like gender identity or anything like that. It's just more like, haha, he's a transvestite. Let's all have a good laugh about transvestites because it's 1975.
That's not really true though.
Uh,
It definitely heavily explores sexual liberation as the two main characters become sexually liberated throughout the film. Like they started as Christian people who literally have never had sex, and by the end are in like full makeup and in like these skimpsy outfits. Like
Yes, I see how that.
literally, that's the main aspect of it.
I don't think that's actually exploring it though. I think that's more just like, haha, let's laugh at this.
No, I think it's an exploration of someone coming to terms with their possible queer identity.
How so?
And not coming to terms, but realizing that they are queer, literally. That literally happens.
yeah.
Oh, so you're talking about like
They-
with Brad? You mean?
Well,
What?
yeah.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, honestly.
How the main characters slowly learn to accept this, like, more, like, sexual, like, state, basically, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And how they learn to, like, be okay with these things.
Okay, that's different than.
Brad literally, like, has sex with, like, the main guy.
Yeah.
And starts to question whether he is, like, that or not. Or if...
He seems to have first of all, Tim Curry just like rapes them, but it's okay because they figure out that he's raping them and they're like, oh, it's okay, let's actually have sex. Which again, I just was like, oof.
Yeah. That's fair.
But the way that the movie approaches that, I think is just more for an in the moment joke. I don't think Brad is never really, because at first he's
How is it a
conflicted.
joke, though?
What?
In what way is it presented as a joke?
I believe it. Really, okay. It's two things. It's one, it's for the setup for Janet to see him having sex and cheating on her, and two, for the secret after
Yeah, but that
sex
plays
joke.
no relevance to the plot, though. That literally doesn't have any relevance outside of her, like,
Well, because
having
that's how
sex.
she decides to go after Rocky.
yeah.
Would you consider it setting up for a joke if it was Brad having sex with another woman, would you still consider it setting up for a joke?
Most like
Is it
it's the fact that I think the fact that he's like
I'm just
I
trying
would
to
never,
glean, like,
and then
what
he
part of it is.
immediately transitions to okay, let's have sex. I think that is what they're going for with the joke.
I understand.
Really?
I understand what you're. No, I understand what you're. I don't agree, but I understand what you're saying. I get what you're trying to say.
I
do,
like
genuinely.
the thing is like Brad is already pre-apprehensive about like marriage and stuff, as shown by the start of the film, where he's kind of conflicted.
Yeah, and the joke, one of the main functions of the joke there is that and it's Brendan, you raised very good points about the idea of consent and the idea of what do we consider to be consensual in this movie, and that is a gray area that I do not even know how to start. So kudos to you for even approaching those topics. You are absolutely right about those. I think, though, if I may here, I think the function of the joke with those two scenes, because notice they happen right back to back, right?
Mhm.
I think the joke is they are the exact same scene, cut and paste. It's almost verbatim,
Yeah.
the same lines verbally. The difference is it's Frank having sex with a woman and then having sex with, right? I understand what you mean in calling this movie borderline offensive to those communities. I understand what you're saying. You're not wrong for raising those points either. I do think, however, I don't think it is as jokey towards those communities as you interpret. It wasn't to me.
I
And
definitely,
granted, I'm
okay.
not.
I definitely think it wasn't at all intended to be like that. I definitely agree with that. But I have problems with ways that it can be interpreted. Another thing is that, so the transsexuals are, the coding is that they're aliens from an alien planet, which it can also be interpreted that that's just how the movie sees transsexual people, is that they're like aliens, which obviously not intended, but it can be an interpretation. And I think because of things like that, it's problematic.
I disagree with that, Emily. I'd argue the interpretation, or my interpretation, is that it is to the main characters, the community, or the LGBTQ community, is so like alien or foreign to them that they appear as aliens, but throughout the film they slowly like realize that it's not really that bad or weird.
They're only revealed to be aliens at the end, though.
No, they're not. They reference them being aliens multiple times in the film.
Or
Frankenfurter's first number is a reference to the fact that he's an alien.
Yeah. But they're like from the planet transsexual. That all comes at the end.
Yeah, it's meant to be like their part, like that's like their community, I guess, if that makes sense. And to the main characters at first, or to us, the viewers, in 1975, that community would be alien or foreign to you.
Which I don't think is a good way to represent the community.
I disagree, because it's shown that it's not like they're not like I mean, I guess the people returning are like sort of bad, but the people in the community, like from there, aren't like shown to be bad.
No, but the fact that you're presenting a community as like a community that should be part of society, should not have to be outcasts as aliens, I feel can be a bit disrespectful.
Yes, but that's what people considered them to be at the time.
Like, and yes, so I'm saying this movie came out almost 50 years ago. I just think there are some problems by today's standards. A lot of things in it just rub me the wrong way. I get that. It's a lot of things were not how this movie was intended to be taken, and it was a different time and all that. But like, I don't know. Like I said, oof, at some points.
I mean, I'd also argue, considering how this film has been largely embraced by the LGBT.
Yeah, that too.
It's, I don't know. I'm thinking.
I think in 1975, because I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say I know the history of LGBTQ+ in films. I don't. I'm not going to sit here and say I am the the bastion of knowledge in that front, I would be very, very wrong in saying so. I will say, I think in 1975, to have a movie that would go on to be a cult classic and have it be so out in the open about its sex positivity, regardless of the lens you want to see that through now, and you're totally right in bringing up those problematic features now, sex forwardness, I'll say it like that.
Yeah.
Its sex forwardness and its ability to delve into those discussions about, sexuality and transgender and what does that mean for questioning people. And I do think that Brad and I don't remember her name.
Janet.
It'll come to me. That bitch.
Yep.
I think Brad, that was mean. I'm sorry. I think Brad and Janet are, they fall under the Q tag. I think it for a movie to come out and have it just right out in the open and be like, this is stuff that's happening, but it's not the main plot line. Because the main plot isn't Frankenfurter's a transvestite, quote unquote, from transsexual. That's not the main plot line. The main plot line is not Brad and Janet are queer. That's not the main plot line either. You know what I mean? I think if they came out and said the only characteristics of all of these characters are their sexuality and their gender, I think then you could maybe put a little more credence under the idea of this being sort of disrespectful. And I get what you're saying, and you're not wrong either. I think I don't agree with what you're saying, but you're not wrong in bringing these points up. I just think it's a milestone and a landmark, because in 1975 to have a male identifying heterosexual in Tim Curry, who, by the way, we're not going to get into talking. I get the feeling we're not going to get into talking about it this much. Tim Curry's a national treasure. He carries the fuck out of this movie, in my opinion. He's the most interesting thing on screen at all times. He's amazing. I love him. I think to have him come on screen and play this character and do it in such a way that is iconic, it is polarizing, it is a pop culture moment, it is absolutely a watershed moment in movie musical history. I think to have him come on screen and do it and still be this bastion, this like figure in the movie community, because this, by the way, I looked it up, this is his first on-screen movie appearance. This is his first,
Really?
which is so interesting. I think it is seen, and I'm not directly in the community. I consider myself an ally, but I am not in the community. I think for that community, the LGBTQ plus community, they see this as a moment for them, because finally they're getting representation on screen. And, at the end of the day, the quote transsexual from transvestite, the main one, the only one who is a quote transsexual, right? Or transvestite rather, the only one who's that, he's not a villain. I mean, he's an asshole, but he's not even the villain of the movie. He's not.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's important, because up to this point, LGBTQ plus people, I would assume, were vilified. They're the temptresses. And yes, Frankenfurter has those aspects, but they're the villains. They're the assholes. They're the tempters. They've gone away from God. There is no reference to God in this fucking movie. That's big too. There's no reference to them being wrong because of their sexuality or decisions outside of their control. There is no reference to them being sinful for these behaviors. That's why it's so positive and forward thinking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally get that. And like its portrayal of those communities is certainly pretty, I guess, forward thinking, I guess, for the time. But like, yeah, no, I totally get all that.
It's the decade of love, homie. It's the decade of love, homie. It's the 70s. We're dead in the middle of it. It's 75.
I will admit there are definitely points where it does feel like, ooh, eh. There is like the consent thing that comes up, but also there is one point, the narrator guy.
Yeah.
Who I feel it's kind of weird that the film has a narrator. I will say
that's fun. I don't get it though.
I think he says something like they had fallen. I don't remember the line. It's like they had like fallen to temptation or something like that, which I do think is like a bit weird way to put it. But like I don't know, I like the way everything is portrayed to me comes off not really very negative, and I feel like the way in which it portrays specifically the two main characters' journey, essentially discovering that they're queer, is definitely pretty positively shown, especially since at the end they're like, when Frankenfurter like is about to die, they're like, he didn't do anything wrong. They're like, what has he done? So yeah.
I mean, he killed America's
He did
sweetheart
kill
Meatloaf.
he did kill Meatloaf, although Meatloaf is actually like a racist asshole, so I don't feel bad about that.
I want to make it clear again. Meatloaf comes on screen. I felt the need to pause the film. I wrote in my notebook, "Holy fuck, it's fucking Meatloaf." Okay. I waited a second. His song was over. By the way, his song it does the opposite of Rip's ass. It's not good.
That's true.
And then he fucking dies, and I wrote, "He's fucking dead." And I don't know if I'm right, that's one of the last notes I think I wrote. I think, yeah, literally, it's, alright, so I wrote, "Oh fuck, it's Meatloaf, !" And then an arrow, "He's dead." And then underneath it, I wrote my final thoughts for the movie. And that happens halfway through the film. So halfway through the film, Meatloaf dies, and I guess in solidarity with the tragic loss of Meatloaf, I stopped writing notes.
The 2 minutes Meatloaf is on screen are the only 2 minutes that matter to Kobe.
Yes.
Oh my god. Actually,
I do.
Go ahead,
no,
I'm sorry.
No, you go. I was going to sort of change the subject.
Yeah, so I think not kind of changing the subject, but Meatloaf is, by the way, it's interesting that we bring up Meatloaf dying. Racist asshole deserves it. I think what's interesting is something that we didn't even really talk about. You could go into multiple different layers of this film. That's what's so interesting, because there's so many moving parts, and a lot of them don't seem to fully agree with everyone else at the same time. Like, it's literally one big... The way I see it is it's one big picture frame with a bunch of different cogs, and they're all moving independently, and some of them are connected, and they're all powering the same machine, but some of them are just off doing their own fucking thing, you know? I think a big thing with Meatloaf is that Meatloaf is killed, but Meatloaf is seen to be... I think abusive is the right term. I mean, he's toxic with his relationship to... I don't remember her fucking name, the short-hair girl. What's her name? Columbia. He's shown to be not outright abusive, but pretty abusive to her. Like, he's distant, he's kind of toxic. She says, "I'm going to wait for you," and he's kind of okay with... Like, there's definitely themes there, an undertone of... The feeling I got from it is that Meatloaf and her have a semi-toxic relationship, and Frankenfurter kills an abuser. And if you want to sit here and say, "Oh, but I love Meatloaf," you know, you're allowed to have that opinion. But I think, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know why I know Meatloaf. He's kind of just been in my life. I don't know what he is.
If someone says, "I love Meatloaf," they either have terrible taste in food, or are stupid.
Well, okay, okay, hold on.
I should say they have terrible taste in music, so...
Siri, who is the musical artist Meatloaf?
I've listened to Bat Out of Hell. It's a fucking garbage album.
Sorry, I don't know who performs Meatloaf. Siri's not a fan of Meatloaf.
Damn.
Is Meatloaf... Okay, this is a stupid question. Is Meatloaf in a band?
No, it's just Meatloaf. He has a band.
Yeah.
Okay.
He releases records under the name Meatloaf. Bat Out of Hell is considered a classic.
It is not good.
By Meatloaf?
By just
probably
people in general.
A lot of people like it. It's very theatrical and over the top, and
it's very like 70s.
Yeah.
Honest.
He's also he's a member of the Oscars or whatever, the Academy.
Oh well.
What? Okay.
Apparently,
put yourself in the shoes. You're in the room where you're discussing who's going to win Best Picture, and Meatloaf is in the corner. What is he saying? You know, I want to know what Meatloaf has to say about
Meatloaf.
About Joker. I want to know what he has to say about Joker specifically.
Fun fact: Meatloaf sees himself as a sign of diversity in the Academy. So
he's a white fat guy from Dallas. What?
Yes.
And he's a racist, so he's really not in a fucking minority. Bro, what? Okay. That's
Meatloaf,
what
we should just do an episode on Meatloaf, because it would be infinitely entertaining.
The food or him?
We should watch a movie that features Meatloaf, and then also...
Well, the food or him?
What? Oh, we'll review the food too, but the food is shit, so...
Fuck you, the food's delicious.
Meatloaf sucks,
Bro,
Meatloaf sucks ass. I
bro,
will
what's wrong with
fight
it? It's just a slab of beef in
Yeah.
a tin. What?
That's why it sucks.
It's all the
Bro, throw some
leftover
ketchup
parts
on
of
that.
the cow that people don't
Bro,
want.
okay.
Why
Okay,
wouldn't you just make a hamburger with it? Like a
Because that's
or,
much
like,
more effort. What?
Hamburgers
Bro,
are
it's
not a lot of
It's
effort.
so easy to make a hamburger.
Bro, okay, listen to me. If you're making a sandwich out of meatloaf meat, at that point, you know what it is? The sloppy Joe, okay? And that's what you are, Joe.
Yeah,
But anyways,
why wouldn't you just make sloppy joes? They're
Sloppy
so
joes are
much
good.
better.
They're better than meatloaf.
bro, meatloaf with some potatoes and some fucking corn. You fucking... Okay.
No.
Then,
Okay,
why
this
not
is
just make
not-
like a shepherd's pie then, huh?
The shepherd's pie is gross.
Wait,
What?
it's
way
just what
better.
you described.
Shepherd pie is gross. I will not hear
Hey,
it from you, Poncho boy, alright?
Says the person who likes meatloaf.
Bro, not... Okay, I want to clarify. I do not like Meatloaf the person. I enjoy Meatloaf the meal. I've heard from very reliable sources that Meatloaf is a racist.
What if they had a meatloaf meal at McDonald's, right? McDonald's
what's in it?
meatloaf, alright? That's gotta be tasty.
Okay, that I wouldn't
like
trust.
the
'Cause They don't
McRib.
use meat. I don't trust that. I'll give you that. Okay, so what were you gonna say about?
I wanted to mention something that I find interesting is that this is like a rock musical, which I guess I find interesting for the
Yeah.
subject matter because I think of, like, to me it kind of feels like it's reappropriating or not, when it's not reappropriating something, but it's appropriating like a mainstream element and bringing it into something that is much less. Well, it wasn't. Rocky Horror Picture Show was like a huge success, but it's appropriating it and bringing it into like a much smaller culture, I guess, if that makes sense. Because I don't know about you, but when I think of rock music, I think straight white guy,
Yeah.
who wants to do a woman.
So Brendan.
I actually like if you think of like 70s rock, I think of Queen and Freddie Mercury. So
Okay,
And
that's fair. That is true.
And this
But-
movie gives off big Queen Freddie Mercury vibes.
yeah,
A lot
it's very-
of stuff. There.
I would argue the specific rock music that it takes from is like what I associate with more.
yeah. This movie is definitely
Like, it's
taking
like
more
an
like
Elvis.
AC/DC.
Yes.
Well, I was thinking like kind of. There's a lot of like sort of more typical rock songs,
Yeah.
sort of like an Elvis figure would do.
There's some elements of, I don't know much about it, but there's some elements of Kiss here too. There's Kiss
Yeah.
here. Very glam.
Was Kiss a band at this point?
No, they were 80s.
Yeah,
Well, no, Kiss
They
were
might
in the
have-
70s.
I thought they formed late
1975.
70s, early 80s.
1973.
Really? Okay.
Really?
When
Wow.
was their first record?
10 years after Kennedy was shot. You think there's a connection?
Kiss was on the
Where was
grassy
Gene
knoll the
Simmons on
entire
the
time.
Listen to me. Where was Gene Simmons on the day Kennedy was shot? Is he accounted for? No, he's
Gene
not. The answer
Simmons
is no.
killed Kennedy. Gene
We don't know he
Simmons is
didn't.
the Zodiac killer.
We don't know he isn't.
I mean, I guess Kiss's debut came out in 1974, so
Oh, okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is
definitely those kind of like. I mean, I guess it's also interesting because rock music. It's weird because like rock music, especially like 80s rock, is very, like in terms of the lyrical content, is very masculine, but like their outfits are not.
yeah, yeah.
They're very like performative and done up, in a way that you wouldn't think of as typically like masculine. I think that Rocky Horror Picture Show to some extent kind of appropriates that in a way that for me works. Just in terms of style, I think this movie has a very interesting style to it. I like the editing, I will say. There's a lot of, well, maybe not. I guess maybe the editing's like a bit more standard, but specifically the like shot composition, I should say, because you have like very weird shots, like when Meatloaf is riding his bike, and you just have like a shot of him through the windscreen attached to his bike, and then also a shot behind him on his bike, like that
Yeah.
was really interesting. And there's also some very interesting, like, I don't know what type of shot it is, wide shots, I guess, of like people just like standing around or eating or something that are like framed like very high up, which is very interesting. And I guess the way there's some very there's some very interesting moments where the editing takes over and you just have people saying like, or you basically you just, there's I'm thinking of that one moment where everyone like appears in the same room or whatever, and they just go like, and they just say their names like a bunch or whatever, like they repeats 3 times.
Oh yeah.
That moment, which is definitely I like that moment. It works stylistically. It's weird.
Yeah.
I guess I like how weird a lot of the editing is, because I think it kind of fits with the somewhat campy nature of it. Pretty campy nature of it.
Yeah, I mean, there are points where it can feel very weird. I think weird is definitely the buzzword here. There are points where it feels kind of spastic, I'll say. I think that does kind of factor in. I think it's meant to. I think it is a bit weird. It's very fast paced. This movie is only like an hour and a half. It's not you're not going to sit there for a while capitulating on stuff. I think what's interesting too is there are elements of performance that transcend film. Like there's lots of elements of like stage show, right? And there's elements of, I don't think vaudeville, but there's elements of
musical Broadway.
Well, yes, it is very Broadway, I think, but it has elements of can't remember the fucking name of it. It has elements of cabaret to it. Yeah, meatloaf. It has a slab of meatloaf doused all over it. It has elements of cabaret, you know. It has elements of it brings in a lot of different things, and I think it's really, really. Someone said to me leading into it, they were like, "What are you doing tonight?" And I went, "I'm gonna go home and have a glass of wine and watch Rocky Horror Picture Show." And their response was, "That's fucking awesome," because they happen to be in the LGBTQ plus community. So I think, you know, that brings that element back into it. But they were talking about it, and they went, "You're either gonna really fucking love it, or you're gonna really fucking hate it." And I think we have 2 people who I don't know. I don't want to speak for Joe. We have 2 people who are more favorable, and then we have someone who's wearing a poncho currently. So I think they're definitely
That's the judge on Brendan's characters. He's wearing a poncho.
Yeah, I mean, so it and that doesn't mean he's wrong for wearing a poncho, but I think what I mean is it's a polarizing movie. That's actually the actual main point I want to make here is, regardless of whether or not you really like, really hate, or in the middle about this movie, I don't think there is a middle ground for this movie, because this movie makes a lot of very, very strong choices. It's here. It's Rocky Horror Picture Show. You're never going to get it confused with something else. It's very okay with being what it is. And I think that's another piece of the empowerment thing. It's here. It's Rocky Horror Picture Show. Get used to it. That's it. You know, it makes strong choices in the editing, in the music, in the acting, in the cast decisions, the numbers, in the script, in the subject matter, in the outfits, in the costumes, in the colors, in everything about it is so strong and so. That's the biggest thing, is regardless of if you love this movie or hate this movie, it is very clear about its identity. And that's a very empowering thing given the subject, you know?
Yeah, definitely, because it never shies away with what it's approaching, for sure. Right. It doesn't care if you don't like what it's showing, because it's going to. And it's not going to, like, pander to that. Yeah.
We gonna wrap up?
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up. Oh boy,
I can go first because I'm most definitely a negative opinion here. I'm not a fan of the movie overall. The jokes most of them don't hit for me. The musical numbers I am not a fan of. The tone of the movie is all over the place, and I get this movie is very. It is kind of a landmark for, again, the LGBTQ plus communities, but watching it today, it kind of just leaves a bad taste in my mouth at points. I'm at like a 3 out of 10.
Oh man.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Damn.
Go ahead, Joe.
So personally, I have to say I disagree with that tone point. I think that the movie presents itself as being very campy. and like very in that sort of theatrical style. So there's never a point where I was brought out of the movie at all, or thought that it had like a jarring shift in tone. I will say that I do think some of the musical numbers feel kind of pointless. Like the intro one where they're dancing, not the one at the church, when they first arrive at the castle and they're doing a dance. The time warp. Yeah. That part, there's a couple of musical numbers that I feel kind of they don't really move the story forward at all. I'm just kind of there. And then also, I guess the other thing is the narrator feels a bit awkward at points. But I don't mind him being there. Overall, I really enjoyed this film. I think it does. It's really fun. I found it to be really funny at points, and I thought it was a great, really good time. I'm at like a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, so I am in a similar boat to Joe. I think it is a very, very fun flick. I think that's the biggest takeaway. It's very fun. It's not afraid of being what it is. It knows what it is. It's fucking crazy at certain points. There were points where I stopped it. I looked around my room to make sure that I was still corporeal in my realm. I could not, at some points, believe that it was a movie. In a good way, though, I think, if that makes sense. There are definitely some musical numbers that fall flat. I, too, did not like Time Warp, really. But I think for what it is a landmark film in that community that we have spoken about. Tim Curry is a national fucking treasure. Meatloaf gets murdered. Who doesn't like that? All apologies to Meatloaf. It's just, it's really fun, I guess. It's fun. There are points where I kind of sat there and I was like, what the fuck is happening? But, you know, that's not bad in movies. All in all, solid flick. Again, without Tim Curry in this movie does not work. It does not. We did not talk enough about that. Tim Curry is amazing in this movie. I don't know if he carries it the whole way, but he carries the fuck out of this. He's amazing. I love him. He's a national treasure, and in honor of him, well, not really in honor of him, I guess in honor of him, I'm at an 8 out of 10 for this.
Nice.
All right. Any other tangents you want to go off of?
All right. So in Madagascar 3, look, we're gonna do the Madagascar trilogy at some point. I will force people to watch the Madagascar movies. But
by people, he means me.
Yeah. When you're not fucking cowardly enough.
Okay, Madagascar 3 is legitimately good. I will defend the fuck out of Madagascar 3. It is so much fun.
Is that the one with like I'm big, like I'm chunky?
No, wait. No, that's Madagascar 2.
Moto? Oh.
Moto's Madagascar 2 is like lifeless and bland, and the penguins are the only good part. But Madagascar 3 is legitimately really good. It's super colorful. It has the most absurd fucking story ever, where the animals join a circus and are constantly running away from a pest control officer who has like insane she has an insane snout. She smells real good. She can smell the animals and she tracks them by smelling them.
Got it.
It's almost like she's the animal.
Yo, damn.
Wow.
It's hilarious.
Spoken like a true Radiohead fan.
Yo, go listen to Pablo Honey. It's a masterpiece of an album.
Oh my god.
Fuck it.
Anyway,
I'm wrapping up. I don't care what y'all are saying.
Next week.
The album.
Bayer's Bops Banter.
Joe, I will mute you. Next week, the album is going to be Bark Your Head Off Dog by Hop Along, and the movie will be Evil Dead 2 from director Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
So, should be a good week. We're keeping it spooky with the movie at least.
You're welcome.
We're fucking... This is one of the worst episodes we've had in a while.
I like the Rocky Horror Picture Show part. That was a good discussion.
We actually
That was
stayed on
actually-
topic for like half an hour.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, and then fucking Joe ended it by burping.
Yo, have you? Wait, are we still recording?
We're still recording.
Have you? All right. There's this cool.
Cut it
little
off in the middle of a
album by
sentence. Cut it off in the
Radiohead
middle.